So recently we got yet another trailer for the next chapter in the Into the Spider-Verse series. And yeah, I'm pretty hyped for it. Really loved the first film and found it to be quite fresh and unique, both visually in terms of its animation style, which to me felt like a bit of a game changer, and also in terms of its story. It was silly and cheesy, didn't take itself too seriously, but it also had a lot of heart and warmth. So good. It did pretty well at the box office as well, grossing close to $400 million, and it really did well with critics and audiences, with both Rotten Tomatoes scores over 90%. On top of that, it also did really well in terms of the awards show circuit. Won the Oscar, the BAFTA, Golden Globe, the Annie Award, Critics' Choice. Don't really know how prestigious that is, but that's one of the ones that seems to get mentioned in the news. So it won all of those, and that's pretty impressive, especially considering that Disney and Pixar usually do dominate that category. Anyway, long story short, it was really good, and so I was very hyped to see that they were making more. And then on top of that, we have a brand new trailer to look at, and so not really much else to say, but to get right into the trailer and see what we think. So, first things first, just some general takeaways from the trailer, or really just my general takeaway. It's that the visuals are even better than before. It's really just a masterful melding of comic books, video game graphics, and a wild drug trip. That's really the best way to describe it for me. Drugs and games in comics. And it creates such an awesome and unique style. A style that we're now seeing replicated by other studios. For example, we saw it in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which obviously, the artistic style was different, but there was so much influence that you could clearly see from the Spider-Verse, especially in the action. And I just feel like this latest trailer's once again upped the game and turned things up to 11, especially the sequences where they're moving through the multiverse, with all the colours and the shapes and stuff. It kind of reminded me of when they go through the abstract thought zone in Inside Out. Anyway, moving on back to the trailer, we start off the trailer with a pretty classic recap sort of thing. Shots of Miles doing Spider-Man-y things, catching cars in his webs, swinging through the city. And yeah, like I said, it looks great. And then we see him arrive on the roof of his building, I suppose, where it seems that his mum's hosting a party of some kind, and he was supposed to bring the cakes. And his mum's mad because he was kind of late with them, and he gives her a whatever. And his dad panics, and his mum blows her top. So clearly, one of the subplots of this film is the tried and tested hero struggles to be a hero whilst also maintaining his personal life arc. Whether it's his friends, or a girlfriend, or college life, heroes, especially Spider-Man, always have that period of struggle that they have to work through to find the balance. And I suppose this is his moment to have one of these, but this time it's going to focus on him and his mum, which, that's actually kind of refreshing, because usually they're going to use the father figure as the disappointed parent trope. But they've already kind of done that with Miles with his dad in the first film, so there's no need to retread old ground, and it also lets them develop a new character in his mum, who was very minor in the first film. We then meet one of the villains of the film, and he's probably a bit of a minor villain really in the grand scheme of things, the Spot, who's apparently able to create interdimensional portals using the spots on his body. And yeah, he's sort of doughy looking, not a very intimidating character in either voice or appearance, so I can't see him being very relevant for very long. I think they probably fight him early on, and this is how we get introduced to the multiverse within the story, before he gets contacted by Gwen, as we see later on in the trailer. And in this sequence with the Spot, I think they further double down on the idea that there's a rift growing in the family between mother and son, as it's revealed that he got a B in Spanish, despite that being his mother's first language, or I assume it's her first language. Pretty sure it is in the comics. Anyway, yeah, that's another classic trope. And honestly, it reminds me a bit of Modern Family here. I've been rewatching that recently, and Gloria and Manny, they have a fairly similar story. Anyway, we then get into the meat of the trailer, and we start to see all the different spider people. And yeah, seeing all these different characters lifted right out of the comic books, I know we'll hardly meet any of them, but still, just seeing them all there in the background together, it's going to be great. Anyway, we then get our first proper look at who seems to be the main villain of the film, Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099. Well, at least he seems to be the main antagonist. Probably not a true villain, but more an anti-villain type of thing. He's going to be against Miles, but I don't think he's going to be an out-and-out villain. Just have a difference of opinion. But yeah, he ain't going to be on Miles' side, that's for sure. We first see him here, ranting about how Miles can't join the Spider team, for reasons that are currently unexplained, and then drops some Tom Holland Spider-Man references. And honestly, sidetrack, it would be so fun to see him appear in the film. I know not as live action, but as a cartoon. I doubt it'd happen, but it'd be really fun nonetheless. Anyway, we then get to see washed up Spider-Man, aka Peter B. Parker, who has, in the gap between the films, gotten back together with MJ and had a child named May, nicknamed Mayday, who's also going to appear in the film as an adult version too. Anyway, the little kid's cute, she swings around, adorable. And Miguel is suitably annoyed at the interruption, and then we move on. And then we really hit the crux of the story, it seems. A difference of philosophies. Miles, having not really lost anybody but his Uncle Aaron, and that was a result of his uncle's bad choices, is of the opinion that being Spider-Man means always saving the day, saving every single person. But it seems that perhaps this organisation disagrees somewhat. They seem to believe that you have to make sacrifices for the greater good, that even losing Uncle Ben, in the end, was a good thing for many of the Spider people. It taught them loss, and gave them a sense of drive and purpose that they might never have had. They might never have become true heroes without it. And I feel like this is supposed to lead up to Miguel trying to get Miles to choose. They show him trying to save his dad in the trailer, and perhaps there's some timey-wimey stuff going on, where Miguel thinks that Aaron needs to die for the greater good, and yet he can't convince Miles to not to try to save him. Perhaps he thinks that by saving him, Miles might not be there to stop a different threat with more severe consequences, that he won't become a true spider hero. I don't know, just an idea, I guess. And anyway, obviously this is going to result in Miguel chasing him across the Spider-Verse and trying to beat him into submission, kill him maybe, convince him of his point of view, perhaps all of the above. Anyway, I feel like we're going to see them battle their way throughout the Spider-Verse in this film, judging by what we see in the trailer. I just hope they don't have them zip through hyperspeed with all the colours whizzing past the entire time. I hope we actually get to see them battle in the various different stylized worlds, even just for a little bit. And obviously, they'll have to anchor it, probably in Miles's home world and also in the in-between land of all the Spider-Men. But, variety is good too. I want to see a few different worlds, different styles. But yeah, back to the story. I'm guessing that Peter B. Parker and Gwen, they're going to be forced to choose between the Spider team and their friend. And yeah, clearly they're going to choose their friend, but there's going to be some angst along the way. We also see in the trailer that Miles is trying to get closer to Gwen, so surely there's going to be some romantic undertones to their relationship this time. We see him storming off on his family at the party, doubling down on that family strife motif, and also tying back into the potential family sacrifice that he might have to do. Although, of course, I think the best decision would be for him to be right, that he can save everybody. I think it would really set him apart from the other characters and get away from that Uncle Ben complex that permeates these sort of films. And furthermore, Miles also seems to accuse Gwen and Peter of doing something behind his back. Pretty sure he asks them if they knew, which, yeah, that's also going to tie back into the whole sacrifice motif and force them to make a choice. And then we finish off the trailer with a glorious meme, the pointing Spider-Man joke, and then a funny section in the therapist's office, which serves to sort of poke fun at that Uncle Ben complex. But yeah, then the trailer ends. This trailer was great. Loved it, loved every second of it, hyped for the film. I think it's going to be great. It looks like it's doing everything the first one did, but, with the potential to be even better. And so I'm quite excited. And so, with all that being said, that's the end of the video. And these have all just been my opinions, and I'd like to hear yours. What did you think of the Across the Spider-Verse trailer? You like it, hate it? You hyped for the film? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know.